Most trappers are dog lovers too, and would hate to have harm come to their companions. This video can help prevent that. All of us who enjoy the outdoor experience are cut from the same cloth. A sunlit forest and flowing water revive the spirit and bring joy to all who participate in the outdoor experience, pet owner and trapper alike. Once in a great while, these two can collide. But just like anything we do in the outdoors, the outcome can vary widely depending on how prepared we are. Let's cover 3 types of traps used today and see how quickly to remove a pet from each if they should become caught. The first trap is called a foothold or a coil spring trap because of the springs that hold the jaws closed. Next, we have the snare or cable restraint. And finally, the body grip trap, also referred to as the conibear trap. Now let's talk about the parts of each trap, so you can see how they work and how to easily remove a non-target animal. In the foothold trap, there's a base, the jaws, the levers that hold the jaws closed, the springs that give the levers their holding power, the pan or trigger for the trap, the chain with a fastener that anchors the trap, and the name tag of the owner. All foothold traps have these basic components. Some may have 1 or 2 long springs, but they all do the same job, to keep the jaws closed. Now, when a foothold trap is in the set position, it looks like this. When the trap is set off, it will look like this. As you can see, it is designed to hold the animal, not injure it. If your pet is caught, the first thing you need to do is control the head of the animal so you don't get bit. Take a jacket or coat and put it over the animal's head. The goal is to get the pet's head into the arm of the jacket. Then, using both feet, step on the 2 levers to release the pressure on the jaws. The animal's foot can now be removed. It is likely the animal will pull free as soon as it feels the pressure release. The trap is now inoperable and can be left lying on the ground. Next, let's talk about the snare or cable restraint. A snare is a thin cable that is formed into a loop and designed to catch the animal on the neck. The parts of a snare or cable restraint are the swivel, the cable, and the locking mechanism. The snare keeps tightening when the animal pulls on it. If the animal stops pulling, it stops tightening. This is exactly how a dog's choker chain works. To easily remove a pet from a snare, start by calming the animal. Talk to it in a reassuring and soothing manner. When it is calmed down, move in slowly and locate the lock. Pinch the cable on each side of the lock. This releases the pressure, and now you can remove the snare from the neck. The pet is now free. The final trap we will talk about is the body grip or conibear trap. This trap looks a little different than the foothold trap, but you can see it has many of the same parts. We have the springs, the safety locks, the jaws, the trigger, the chain, and the name tag of the owner. Like the snare, this trap is also designed to have the animal walk through it and be caught about the neck. This trap will kill the animal, so it is important to act as quickly as possible. Knowing how this trap works makes all the difference. Once the animal is caught, assume you have 2 minutes to remove it. You can do it. There are 2 quick and easy options used to safely remove this trap. Option 1, the zip tie kit. This method is by far the fastest and easiest method to remove a pet from a body grip trap. Here we are simply using the zip ties to squeeze both springs to release the pet. The Minnesota Trappers Association came out with this zip tie kit to help safeguard pets in the field. This simple kit consists of 2 24-inch long zip ties and an instruction sheet. The zip ties in this kit are rated at a minimum of 175 pounds breaking strength. This rating ensures the zip tie will not break when using it to secure the springs used in closing the trap. The included instruction sheet gives you complete details on how to use the kit as well as alternative removal methods. This small kit can be easily carried whenever you're walking your dog. Here is how the zip tie works. The zip tie has a strap with teeth and a head with a ratchet. As the free end of the strap is pulled through the ratchet, the zip tie tightens and does not come undone. If the zip tie is inserted correctly, you will hear the zip tie teeth clicking as it tightens. If you do not hear any clicking, you have inserted it incorrectly. Simply pull the strap out, turn it over to the other side. To use the zip tie method to open the trap, place one tie through the spring eyes next to the jaw. Stand on the spring to hold the trap in place and pull on the zip tie. As you compress the spring, the zip tie keeps the spring from returning to its open position. Compressing the spring takes the pressure off the animal's neck and is the key element in releasing the animal. Wiggling the zip tie as you pull on the strap makes compressing the spring easier. Keep pulling until the spring eyes are about an inch apart. Standing on the spring allows you to have both hands free to pull on the zip tie. Once you have the spring compressed, repeat the process on the other spring. You don't need to worry about the safety catch, as the zip tie keeps the pressure on the springs for you. Now the jaws can be opened and the pet is free. As with anything worthwhile, a little practice makes the process much easier. I have never met a person yet that could not open these traps once they are shown how easy it is to do. With the instructions you learned today and a little practice, you know you can open these traps if you need to. Now let's continue with option 2, the dog leash or rope method. If the zip ties are not available, a pet leash or a length of rope will also work quite well. What needs to be done here is the tension springs need to be squeezed and both safety hooks put in place. If you're using a dog leash, you must thread the loop end through the trap's spring eyes. The snap probably will not fit. If you choose to use a rope, it should be approximately 30 inches long and have a loop at one end pre-made to fit over your shoe. Using a rope, thread the free end through the trap's spring eyes. No matter which method you use, the procedure is the same. The spring eyes are located where the spring meets the jaws. Stay on the outside of the jaws so you don't interfere with the operation of the trap. Bring the free end back around and thread it through the spring eyes one more time. Basically, you're making a loop around the spring so you can use the leverage of the rope or leash to compress the spring. Now place the loop over your shoe and pull the free end to compress the spring. Keeping the distance between the loop and the trap as short as you can gives you better leverage to quickly compress the spring. Pull the spring ends until you can hook the safety catch to hold the spring closed. Repeat this process on the other spring. Now the jaws can easily be opened and your pet is free.
The American public shares ownership of wildlife and wild places. We all enjoy as we see fit, but we also have a responsibility to manage both correctly. Trapping is a critical tool to do just that, manage wildlife. In today's world, some species are managed, others run wild. This is not beneficial to the ecosystem, other wildlife, or even themselves. Hunters, bird watchers, everyone who enjoys wildlife and wild places needs trapping as a tool to achieve balance. Traps play a key role in seeing to it that we have abundant and diverse wildlife for all to appreciate. The cruelest thing we can do to wildlife is fail to manage it.
Fur Takers of America is a nonprofit organization founded in 1968 to promote and protect our trapping heritage and is dedicated to education. It is more important now than ever for all those who share the outdoors to work together to benefit each other and the wildlife we manage. Education of both young and old alike has been and will always be one of the major goals of Fur Takers of America.
For more information or to get the instructions as a PDF, please go to furtakersofamerica.com.
By working together, we can all use and appreciate the great outdoors.